Holy Week is always one of the most special times here at Grace Cathedral in San Francisco. It's the holiest week of the year, and we embrace it. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about our schedule, but I want to tell you a little bit about the history of the Easter Vigil at Grace Cathedral too. So Holy Week always begins with a Palm Sunday palm procession. So we bless hundreds and hundreds of palms. We had 1,000 people here for Palm Sunday this year. We blessed all the palms in the very front of the church by the big, huge font. And then we remembered Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem and waved our palms and sang Hosanna in the highest. And it's such a powerful expression of joy. And it was so beautiful. And then at Grace Cathedral, we do something that's a little bit different than other churches. We go through the whole Palm Sunday rite. And then at the very end, we read the Passion. So we read the story of Jesus' betrayal and crucifixion by the religious authorities of his time, his betrayal by his friends. So it's a very powerful thing. We go into the church with this incredible feeling of joy, and we leave with a sense of the weightiness of sorrow and suffering. So that's our Palm Sunday. On Tuesday, all the priests in the whole diocese, all the deacons, all the clergy come, and we bless oils, the holy oils for healing and for anointing for all the churches in the whole diocese. On Wednesday, the men and boys choir sing the Tenebrae service. And it's a service where we begin with a whole panoply of lights at the high altar, and we extinguish each light after reading lessons from Lamentations, from the Psalms, from other sources that remind us just about the way human beings fall short, that we harm each other and harm ourselves in the way that we think and what we do. And it's so powerful. The men and boys sing so beautifully, and then it ends with this loud sound on the organ, and everyone departs the cathedral in quiet. The next night is the night that we celebrate Maundy Thursday. So that was Jesus' Last Supper with his friends. In the book of John, in the Gospel of John, about a quarter of the Gospel happens, during this period of time, where Jesus gives instructions to his followers, and he tells them, he says, my spirit, the spirit that I have, will be in you forever. You don't have to worry about where I am, because my spirit will be with you, and it'll help you to discern what to do. And it's a very poignant moment. Jesus says, the leaders of the world, they lord it over their people, and you can tell the greatest, because the greatest looks down on the other people, but the greatest among you is going to be servant of all. And so he demonstrates this by washing his disciples' feet. And Peter says, you shouldn't wash my feet. And Jesus says, you need to have your feet washed by me. And Jesus insists, and so he washes his friends' feet in this beautiful symbol of humility. And then what we do is we take everything that's in the cathedral, all the cushions, all the candlesticks, everything we take out of the cathedral. And so that when we begin Good Friday, on Friday, we come into the cathedral and everything is bare. And that's when we remember the last moments of Jesus' life. We remember his trial before Pontius Pilate, the way that he went back and forth between the Roman authorities and the religious authorities. And we remember how he's crucified. And we remember Peter's denials. People came to Peter and said, who is Jesus? And Peter basically denies his friend, denies that he even knows him. And so it is a very powerful service. Again, beautiful music, incredibly moving. And we have a sermon then. And we always have also a kind of concert on Friday night too, which is done by the Alexandra String Quartet this year. And it's a chance to read lessons, to reflect on the last 7 words of Jesus' life, the last 7 words that he said. And then the most amazing thing is the next day, on Saturday night at 9:00 p.m., we celebrate the Easter Vigil. And this is a tradition that in North America, Grace Cathedral was one of the first places where we celebrated the Easter Vigil again. It was something we brought back from the past. And on this Easter Vigil this year, we're going to baptize 25 adults. So it's an amazing time where people have been preparing this, learning about the Christian faith, getting ready to be baptized, and they'll all gather in the dark church. And we'll have a huge bonfire. And the bonfire, it reminds us that Jesus is the light of the world. And we sing this thing called the Exultet, which is a special prayer that we only sing once a year. And so we sing that as we come in procession into the church. And we hear lessons, the readings from the Old Testament about the creation of the world, about the salvation of the people of Israel. And all of it culminates in this beautiful act of baptizing these new Christians. And then the next day, we have church services at 8:30, 11, and 6 o'clock. And we have thousands of people who are here, all celebrating the resurrection of Jesus. This isn't about something that happened a long time ago. This is about the way that God is still with us in the most intimate and powerful ways. That God never will leave us to our own devices. That we'll always, when death seems so final, that there's always another possibility, another chance. And that's what we remember on Easter Sunday. We'll have an orchestra here at the 11 o'clock service, and we'll have beautiful music. But all of it is to remind us that God never gives up on us, that God is always with us. I have no idea where you will be, but that's how we celebrate Easter at Grace Cathedral. This is how we celebrate Holy Week. I pray as I do my prayers tonight, I pray for you, and I pray that you too will find a new light, which will help you see the world in a new way, and that you will feel God's presence walking with you today. My name is Malcolm Clemens Young. I'm the Dean of Grace Cathedral in San Francisco, California. Thanks for watching. More good news.